Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how to set up DaVinci Resolve 17 on Ubuntu using NVIDIA graphics cards with CUDA hardware acceleration. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll come across and open up DaVinci Resolve. There we go, DaVinci Resolve. And I'll open up the system preferences to show you that hardware acceleration is set up. So I'm going to open a new project. And if I come across to preferences here, and the memory and GPU, you can see GPU configuration using CUDA, and it's picked up my NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 graphics display. So what I'll also show you is actually importing some media into the media pool as well. So what I've done is converted a 5-minute H.264 1080p video into another format that supported my DaVinci Resolve, which I'll go into later. And the 12 meg H.264 1080p clip, after converting it, was 1.63 gig. So you can see I can actually import this footage, and if I come across to the edit tab, I can actually drag it in, and you can see when it's playing. I won't play this now because I'll switch across and show you how to get all this set up. So what I'll do is I'll just quit DaVinci Resolve and switch across to the actual setup and configuration. So first of all, if I come across to this document, what we're going to be doing is setting up DaVinci Resolve on Ubuntu with NVIDIA graphics. And I'm using a Dell XPS 15 2019 model with 16 gig of RAM. So the first thing we're going to need to do is actually install some applications that will enable us to convert the DaVinci Resolve Linux installer into a deb file. So the first things we need to install are fakeroot and I don't know how you pronounce this, xreso. So we're going to install fakeroot and xreso using sudo apt install fakeroot xreso, and this is going to be needed for the makeresolvedeb script that we're going to use to convert the DaVinci Resolve installer. So we'll run those two commands in the terminal. You'd run those two terminal. Obviously I've done this already, so I'm not going to do it again. But after we've installed that, what we're going to need to install is the nvidia-cuda-toolkit and also ocl-icd OpenCL dev, which I believe is needed for the splash screen in DaVinci Resolve. So there are several guides on actually getting this working on Ubuntu, saying you need all these sort of different packages to install. But what I found is using the NVIDIA CUDA-toolkit, which is also required if you want to set up Blender to use GPU acceleration, actually works. There are sort of guides saying you need libcuda1 or some various other packages, but once you set up the NVIDIA graphics cards that I've shown you in a previous video, actually installing the NVIDIA CUDA-toolkit worked out the box, and the issue is there are several different CUDA packages and it'd be difficult to know which one to pick. So I just went with the CUDA-toolkit because that's what's recommended for hardware acceleration with Blender, which I also had a look at to see if it was a viable video editor, but it's not really. It's really clunky to use. So the next step is installing the NVIDIA CUDA-toolkit and ocl-icd-OpenCL-dev. So once you've done that, we can then move on to the next step. So First of all, we installed fake root and xreso. After that, we're installing the nvidia-cuda-toolkit and the OCL ICD OpenCL-dev. Once we've got that set up, we can actually download DaVinci Resolve. So if I come across to the browser, we'd come across to blackmagicdesign.com products DaVinci Resolve. And if you scroll down here, there's a download link here. And I've got locking on so it doesn't start playing the video and stuff. But what it will do is it'll actually pop up a window, and you'll have to fill in a form with your name and email address, and then it'll give you a download link. And once you've downloaded the file, which is about 2 gig, we'll come across to documents, Vinci Resolve. Okay, once you've downloaded that, you'll get a DaVinci Resolve zip file, Linux zip file, which is actually about 2 gig. So that's 2.1 gig, the file. So it takes about 20-30 minutes to download. And the other thing we need to do is download the makeresolvedeb script, which will convert the Linux installer into a deb file. So what we're going to do is we downloaded the DaVinci Resolve zip file, and then we're going to come across to the makeresolve website, and basically you just download the latest version, and what it will do is it will download a tar.gz file. So the next step is we need to unzip the DaVinci Resolve installer, which we can do with unzip and the path to the zip file. And I'm just using a asterisk in double quotes here because the version number changes. So, you know, at the moment it's 17.6 beta, and I'm just going to have some tea. So what we need to do is unzip that DaVinci Resolve zip file using the unzip command. And I said it's about a 2.1 gig file, so it's going to take a minute or two to unzip. And then after we've done that, what we're going to do is extract the makeresolve tar.gz file, and that we do that with tar-zxvf and the path to the makeresolvedeb file. And again, I'm just using a asterisk in here because the version number will change. If I come across to the terminal here, you can see I've got the zip file which I've unzipped, and that gives us a run file, and I've unzipped the untarred the makeresolve script. So what we need to do is have the makeresolve script in the same directory as the Linux run installer. So once we've done that, what we can do is actually run the makeresolve script. Yeah, I should have written that down somewhere where you run it. Oh yeah, that's it. This is the section. Basically, in the terminal, you run the makeresolve script here and pass in the Linux run script as the first argument. So if I switch back to the terminal, that would be makeresolve and DaVinci would run that. I'm not going to run that again because that's I've already created the deb file. So we run this command, and that is going to create the deb file. So if I just come back across here, after we've done that, that's going to take 4 or 5 minutes to actually create the Debian file. And let me just hide all of this. I need to open that one. And then basically the next step is to actually install the deb file using dpkg. So we'd run sudo dpkg-i and then the path to the deb file that's been created. So after you've done that, have some more tea. what I found is a couple of things that I'm just going to go through and sort of mention. So again, sudo dpkg-i and then the deb file, and that's going to install DaVinci Resolve. Now, when I first launched Vinci Resolve, I'll just close these. What I found was that I had a sort of little black box here and a sort of white background, and it didn't look like it was doing anything. So I ran pkill Vinci Resolve in the terminal, and the black screen, the little black screen with the white, it was like a black screen up here, a white background, that disappeared, and the DaVinci Resolve splash screen popped up, and basically I looked in the system preferences and all the GPU settings were okay, but what I'm going to do is come across to a file manager and just show you some interesting things. When I set this up, what it did is it created a directory called GPU cache in my home directory, and also in the videos folder it also created a directory called cache clip. So what it's going to do is, when you've got the GPU set up, it seems to create these two folders, one for the GPU cache in your home directory, and then a cache clip in your videos directory. So I just thought I'd mention that in case you're wondering where the folders came from. The other thing I wanted to mention was actually converting videos for DaVinci Resolve, because you may be aware that the free version of DaVinci Resolve for Linux doesn't have support for the H.264, H.265 MP3 codecs. I think maybe AAC as well, I'm not sure. But if you want H.264 and H.265 support, you have to pay $300 for the studio version of DaVinci Resolve on Linux. So that's one issue, is that you're not going to be able to edit any footage in DaVinci Resolve on Linux that either has an MP4 extension or uses H.264, H.265 or MP3 codecs. So what you've got to do is actually convert the MP4 to another codec, and there are several codecs that DaVinci Resolve supports that we could use to convert our footage to. There's dnxhd, yep, with PCM codec. So you can either use dnxhd, you could use Apple ProRes, or I believe Motion JPEG as well. And these were just some commands that I came across on the internet, on some blog posts about people converting footage to import into DaVinci Resolve. And when I tried this one to convert a 5-minute H.264 clip, which was at 1080p, the file size originally was 12 meg, and as I said, what it did was it converted the 12 meg file with dnxhd to 1.7 gig. So if you do the math, that's going to mean that you times that by 10, and well 12, that 2 meg, 20, you can look about 25 meg for 25 gig rather, for an hour of footage. So you've got an hour of H.264 footage, it may be increased to as much as 25 gig when you convert it. So there are several other formats, but I know Apple ProRes files are absolutely huge as well, and I'm not sure what the quality of the Motion JPEG codec is like. So that's something I need to look into. There are also some notes from this guy whose site I can't remember, I didn't bookmark, but actually converting a MKV to an excuse me, converting an MKV to an MOV file with multiple audio tracks. I'll leave a link to this document under the video. But this is a way to convert multiple audio tracks to an MOV with dnxhd video codec. Now, the other thing is that you can't export to H.264 AAC either from DaVinci Resolve. So what you're going to need to do is export as something like Apple ProRes or dnxhd, and then convert that into an H.264 format. And this is just a chunk of code I came across for converting a video from DaVinci Resolve into a format that can be uploaded to YouTube. So I'll leave a note under the video about that. But if I just come back across, I'll just open DaVinci Resolve again. Okay, DaVinci Resolve. Just wait for it to load up. Okay, unentitled project. And as you can see, everything shows up fine. I can hide the my tray. And again, if I come across to the preferences, I didn't have to do anything. This just showed up automatically, GPU configuration, using CUDA, and it's automatically detected the graphics card. So that all seems good. I haven't actually had to play around with this too much. But again, if I when we import, if I try and import media, so here's the MP4 file. So you can see the MP4 file. If I drag it to the timeline, you can see it's just got the audio track. So maybe AAC is supported, but it's not, but not H.264. So I'll delete that and reset clips, and then I'll import the converted version. So this is the dnxhd converted file, and you can see the audio video coming up there, no problem. And let's just click across to some of these tabs. There's Fusion, there's Color, Fairlight. Let's have a look at the delivery section, because that will tell us the codecs that are supported for the output format. So you can see by default it's selecting dnxhd. That may be because that's the codec we're using. But these are the formats we have. So we don't even have Apple ProRes by the looks of things to export. So yeah, we see a photo JPEG, uncompressed. I'm not sure what format that is. Motion JPEG, and let's have a look at the audio. Yeah, so we've got PCM audio. So basically, by the looks of things, codec, dnxhd. So by the looks of things, you're going to have to use dnxhd. Oh, for God's sake, dnxhd. And PCM audio. We've got different formats here, containers. So I think what this is going to do is actually going to create a QuickTime MOV file with dnxhd and PCM audio. And that's some of the issues that I've come across setting up DaVinci Resolve. And I'll just quit that now and save. So again, I'll leave a link to the this documentation under the video. But basically, the steps are: you need to install Bakeroot and Xreso. After you've done that, you can install the nvidia-cuda-toolkit and OCL ICD OpenCL-dev. And then you need to download and unzip the DaVinci Resolve installer. After that, we download the makeresolvedeb script and untar it in the same directory as the Linux installer. we then had to create the deb file by running the script, which is already executable, so you don't need to run change modx. So we prefix it with // in the current directory and pass in the Linux run installer. And then after that, we just installed Vinci Resolve by running sudo dpkg -i DaVinci Resolve and then the deb file. And the one issue that I had was, as I said, when it first launched up, I got a little black square here and white, and I just run pkill DaVinci Resolve, and the splash screen started up, and I haven't had that issue since. So I'm not sure if that was just first time booting up issue or you know, whatever. But again, the other issue is that it's going to create a GPU cache folder in your home directory, and in your video it will create a cache clip directory as well. So those are two directories that are going to be created by DaVinci Resolve, and again, you can't import H.264, H.265 or MP3 audio into DaVinci Resolve. You've actually got to convert it into something like dnxhd with PCM audio. And again, when you export, you have to export as, you know, dnxhd with PCM audio, and then convert it with ffmpeg into a H.264 file. You can also use Handbrake to convert the video as well. But basically, the issue is, again, the file size. When you convert a clip, increases massively. So this was a 12 meg. This was a 5-minute H.264 video at 1080p, and when I converted it to dnxhd and PCM audio, file size increased to 1.7 gig. So you're going to need a lot of space or use an external drive, because you're going to have actually, that's going to be, you're going to have double the size, because you've obviously got to convert the footage before you import it. So for instance, an hour footage would take 25 gig probably. And then again, when you export the footage, it's going to export at probably the same size. You're going to need, so you're going to need, you know, like 50 gig plus for an hour's worth of footage probably. So that's one of the issues with the format. But apart from that, it's a much better editor than any of the open source editors. So that's how I managed to set up DaVinci Resolve on Ubuntu 20.04 with an NVIDIA graphics card, and enable hardware acceleration. So I'll leave a link to this document under the video with all the steps, and hopefully that should get you set up with DaVinci Resolve on Ubuntu 20.04. I guess when there's a new version out, you're going to have to re-download the installer and create the deb and sort of reinstall it. You're not going to sort of just be able to upgrade from within DaVinci Resolve, I wouldn't have thought. So you may need to go through the setup again when the next version is released. But that's just some notes I've come across setting up DaVinci Resolve, some of the issues and some of the packages that you need on Ubuntu.